So it's a pretty nice whiteboard. It's pretty high quality, like really heavy duty. It's got like a big steel backing on it and an aluminum frame. So pretty happy with that. It pays to not buy stuff. Well, so it's pretty self-explanatory. But it's nice to, you know, if you have a pretty good idea that you're gonna maybe find something eventually, if you can hold off on buying it, it pays off. I would imagine that would cost a pretty penny from, like, you know, Uline or an office supply place or something. That dumpster is a good source for like brown packing paper. I actually didn't see any in there today, but there's probably some in there if I dug down, but usually there's a lot of brown packing paper in that dumpster. That's just expensive too. It's like $7-8 per roll at Home Depot, I want to say. Their packing paper, which is like very similar to that. Hardly ever find anything in that dumpster, but I have found good stuff in there before. Any dumpster can become a good dumpster through the magic of random illegal dumping. You know, people just going to targeting a dumpster like this. It's kind of in an isolated area on a day like today. It's not very busy. To dump their TV, or, well, I'm not looking for TVs, but, you know, personal junk or whatever they need to get rid of in a move. There's a ton of glass there. I'm going to backtrack just a shade here. I skipped this one. Drop off that whiteboard. So another nice thing about this location is that I have the band practice space right here that I can stash stuff, and if I need to, there's usually all kinds of things to give you a flat tire in here. A little bit of wire right there. Let's park my bike and check this out. This is the dumpster where I found that vintage calculator stuff and the Marantz cassette deck, and that, I think it was an AFP kind of weird brand receiver. The calculator stuff sold really quickly for really good money, but I still have the stereo equipment. It didn't work, so both of them had like some pretty serious issues. So it's definitely like a parts repair situation on eBay. Oh, it's completely empty. All right. Onward and upward. Get back on track to the regular route here now that we're done backtracking. I think I did this route, I don't think I did it last week. I think 2 weeks ago, Sunday. And it was crazy nice out that day. It was this time of day, Sunday. Usually it's like a ghost town around here. All the businesses are closed, everyone's gone. This is why I like doing it this time of day, this time of the week. There's a broken robin egg back there, bright blue egg. And I swear, last time I did this, there were people everywhere. Like I remember I came back here, there was like a person just sitting in this lot in their car with their car running. And as soon as I came, I mean, the place was completely empty, just like this, except for that one car. And as soon as I pulled around this corner, she gave me a look like, what in the hell are you doing here? So I just bailed. I don't know what she was doing. But that week, that day, there were people everywhere around here. Like, I couldn't figure it out. Like, that one complex back there where all those dumpsters were, there was a guy, like, getting his boat out of one of the, you know, he probably owned one of the businesses and stored his boat there and was getting it out for the spring somewhere or whatever. And like, I kept going back there to see if he'd left. He was there for like an hour and a half, like screwing with his boat. So like, that whole complex was out of the question. This dumpster, it was just a bunch of places I went. There were like people, I can't remember if I opened this or not. I always try to leave it the way I found it. So if it was open, I leave it open. If it's closed, I close it. I honestly can't remember if I opened that one or not, so I'm just gonna close it. I'll have to review the video footage on that one. Kind of think it was left open, but I don't know. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. Anyway, yeah, that day it was just like, why are all these people like everywhere I'm going? Very odd. But it looks like today it's back to ghost town status. I might even run the long version of this route. I'll probably run out of battery life or SD card space before I get to that part of the route, but we'll see. That's like a daycare place where I used to check it, but it's I actually found a computer there one time, and it's pretty much always just like a bunch of dirty diapers. It's pretty disgusting. So yeah, I kind of don't even check that one anymore. I know that babies, for whatever reason, are really sensitive. I guess it's not babies, but you know, young children are there. I guess it's babies that are really prone to getting hepatitis A or whatever. Like in this country, I think every baby gets a Hep A shot like right away. But yeah, I just kind of think about that. Like, that's not something, I don't know, dirty diapers could definitely have like disease. Definitely something you kind of want to avoid. Not to mention just the grossness factor. Looks like they redid this parking lot. Nice. Real nice. It's okay to ride on? Maybe I'll just stop. Maybe I'll just go around. I think it's fine to ride on, but better safe than sorry. Pothole for you. The roads in this town are unbelievably bad. They were bad before, and this one are just destroyed. Just destroyed our roads. This place is a body shop. Sometimes they have this really nice bubble wrap I like to use. Yeah, they have some more of it there. I'm gonna grab that. This stuff actually is really nice. Oh, there's a little Little baby bunny over there. I don't know if you guys can see it behind that cone. It's just a little guy. Not too scared of people yet. What's up, little guy? You guys see him? Oh, there's two of them. Oh, this might be, oh, there's three. This is like a little warren right here. Okay. Nice little spot for him. It's kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. This has been rained on. But maybe I can dry it out. Maybe I can dry it out in my garage. Stuff is really nice. It's like that 2-ply kind of bubble wrap. It's bubble wrap encased in like a layer of plastic on both sides. This might be too dirty, too wet, too far gone for me to consider using in professional capacity. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll just let this dry out for a while. Let it dry out, give it the sniff test, make sure it's not nasty smelling or anything, mildewy smelling. I don't want to ship any packages out. I have that kind of odor to them or anything. That'd be bad news. But this is such high quality stuff. I'm gonna grab it and see if I can end up getting some use out of it. Ship a couple of packages with that for sure. When it's nice out, don't really need to buy bubble wrap. I bought quite a bit of it over the winter, and I'll usually buy like a fresh roll if I'm shipping something really big. So just want it to have like a nice, good quality, professional look to it. But might be a piece of aluminum there. Yeah, I think so. This is steel, right? Galvanized steel. Garbage can lid. Hit it with a magnet. Yeah. It's a galvanized steel. I don't do tin. I don't grab tin. For one thing, it takes up a lot of space. I got to fit everything in those two totes, and I got to keep it under about 100 pounds. The other thing is the town where I live. I don't know what that is. The scrapyard I go to has two separate facilities for ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. And the ferrous yard is it's better than it used to be, but it used to be like a lot of nails and screws and stuff everywhere. So I don't really like risking a flat tire, just to turn in like 20 pounds of, or yeah, $20 worth of tin or something. I used to do it a lot. I'd go around in my RAV4s before I started making videos. But I'd go around my RAV4 every Monday evening and Tuesday evening and do curbside trash picking. And I was also grabbing steel, tin metal, and I'd go to the scrapyard once every week or two. Turn that in. It was usually like, $20 bill or something like that. So I just decided to kind of start focusing on other stuff. Like I said earlier in the video, and many other videos, for me it's really all about eBay. The scrap I grab, because it's kind of like a little Little extra bonus. But I don't like spending a lot of time processing it, taking stuff apart, cleaning it. It's just not really my thing. I'll do a little bit of that if it's worth it, but not much. One cool thing about the scrapyard I go to is the wire I turn in. You don't need to cut off the ends or anything like that, so I'm gonna just throw all into a tote, and when it gets full, I turn it in. I usually wait until I have like a full tote of wire and a full can of aluminum cans. That usually means it's about time to make a scrapyard run, and I do that about once a month, sometimes a little more depending on how hard I'm hitting it, and I usually get about 50 bucks. So definitely not a primary source of income, although something did happen with my eBay account. I probably would buy an old beater pickup truck and get like a scrapping rig together. But it's a pretty tough way to make money. Something happened with my eBay account. I would also focus like a lot on local sales. It's really limited as to what you can sell locally versus an international market where you can sell just about anything if you wait long enough. I believe that's a shoe rack and DirecTV set-top box. There's another little rabbit over there. They're all over the place around here. It was cool to see that little warren with all of them hopping around. These cans have been here for a long time. I don't know if they're for me or for someone else, but I haven't been touching them. But they, there's the little dude over there. There's been a lot of bread in here lately. I don't know what that's all about. Take this. I don't really need the shoe rack. And I could use that to store shoes, like for my inventory. Oh, it's actually broken. But yeah, I don't really need to mess with that. I'm gonna bust it up chair of some sort. Some batteries. Some kind of framed photo or something. Okay. Someone's like, that's what I think about you, kid. That's what I think about your first year. Throw it in the trash. Trash. Your first year is trash. I shouldn't say anything. It could be like somebody's kid that died or something, and they're like traumatized by all the stuff around it. It has like his picture on it or something. That's been used as an ashtray or a spit cup or something. Like an ashtray. Yeah, that's gross. Don't need that can. Don't need that can that bad in my life. All right, spending way too much time here. But yeah, I'm talking about eBay. I don't think I've found a single thing to sell on eBay so far. Maybe this thing. I can test this to an extent. Like, I don't have a satellite connection to test it with, but I guess I'll put it in my bottom tote. I usually put stuff I want to keep clean in the bottom tote. It's kind of my system. But yeah, like I was saying, I can test that. I can hook it up to, you know, TV or whatever and see if it gets some kind of video output. If it does, then it's probably sellable. That might be a chunk of aluminum right there, staring me right in the face the whole time. No, I don't think so. Yeah, that's plastic and steel. Plastic and steel. I don't know. This is a Ryder truck, like a rental truck place, so you can literally find anything in here. You never know what's going to be in this dumpster. Stuff that people leave in their trucks, whatever. I'll make sure I have everything. My tools, my snips. I used to keep a couple of magnets with me too, like on my bike. I used to have a Mongoose Walmart bike. I didn't get it from Walmart, I bought it used, but everything on it was steel, so I had magnets all over the place. Sometimes they wanted to fall off or something, but I just had a couple that I could count on. This thing literally there's no steel on it at all. There's nothing magnetic on it at all. It's all aluminum alloy. The handlebars, everything. So I just use I have a money clip, and it has like a little magnetic thing on it, the clasp. I always have that in my pocket, so I just use that. These things you can sell if they have all the clips and everything intact, and this does. So it'll usually have a part number. Yeah, so this will be like Toyota part number 422-15. You can look that up. And yeah, it has a little gouge out of that. But other than that, it's not too scratched up. And a lot of people don't really care if there are some scratches on it. They just want to replace the one that they lost, and they don't want to spend a fortune on it at the dealer. So that could be a little sale right there. Not much. Do you think it's possible that the same car lost two of them in one shot? Yeah, no place to park the bike. I have to take it with me. There must be a big pothole around here. You'll see these things accumulate by railroad tracks and area. No, it's a different car. Yeah, this is cracked. And yeah, this wire's all messed up. None of the clips are broken, but I think this thing's like rusted out a little bit, so that's gonna stay there. The Toyota thing, I can probably sell that for a few dollars. $5–10 profit in the end of the day, probably something like that. There's a guy, I don't know if anyone who watches my videos is into eBay. I would guess maybe a few of you are. I have like 56 subscribers now, I think, which is awesome. I want to thank anyone who's subscribed to the channel. My goal with this channel is to get 1,000 subscribers, and it's going to take a long time. But I really want to say thanks to anyone that has subscribed to the videos, and to the people, I know you're out there that watch all my videos, and some people that watch them right after I post them, which is really awesome to see. But back to the eBay thing and those wheel covers and hubcaps and stuff. The first guy I watched on YouTube that talked about eBay was this guy Hubcap Joe. I think he's had like an eBay related channel for a long time. He's an interesting character, but he started, I guess, on eBay. He's got like a little empire he's built selling hubcaps. He sells used and new hubcaps now. Like, he has dealerships and all that stuff for the major manufacturers, like aftermarket hubcaps and wheel covers, and you know, does like wholesale and all that. But he started out just in New York City, like collecting hubcaps and wheel covers, like off the side of the road, like I said, like by railroad tracks and pothole, like hot spots, and And that's how he collected his inventory in the early days to get going. I've never gone to this dumpster before, I don't think. It's kind of like set back here in a way that makes me feel like maybe this isn't that cool. Like when they're so far back in the parking lot, I kind of feel like it's a little less public domain-y, if you know what I mean. It's not a word, but this is the scrapyard that I go to. So yeah, that's a metal dumpster. That's another thing too. For anyone that's getting started, if you see a dumpster like that and it's got, well, I know that's the name of a scrapyard, and it's got nothing but metal in it, that's there for a reason. They're collecting that metal to turn it in for scrap, for money. So don't take money out of people's pockets and take metal out of a scrap only dumpster. A lot of times it'll say scrap only or metal only or something. That one didn't, but that's definitely what it was. If you guys watch the Scrap Vulture videos, he's actually called Vid Vulture now, but he's mentioned that a bunch of times in his videos too. Another thing that he mentions in his videos, he does dumpster diving videos. He does all kinds of videos now that used to be pretty much mostly dumpster diving. But one thing that I've never mentioned, and I think I'm getting close to, I'll be coming up on my 50th video here pretty soon. But basically, like, this is not safe. Don't do this, basically. Like, don't strap a bunch of stuff to your bike, like 100 pounds of scrap and stuff, you know, with bungee cords and like totes that you got at Walmart, and ride around in traffic and jump into dumpsters that have like all kinds of like dangerous things, sharp objects, and possibly, you know, things that can make you very sick. You know, like ground up bits of aluminum like that you could be breathing in. You know, basically, if you decide to do this kind of activity, do so at your own risk. I endorse this in no way, shape, or form do I endorse this type of activity. This is what I do. I've been scavenging professionally for about 4 years now, I think. And about 1.5 years of that or so has been on a bicycle, like using the techniques that I'm doing now. And I learned a lot of this stuff from watching YouTube videos. But that being said, I don't suggest that anyone who watches this video or any of my videos engage in this type of activity at all. See, that's a dumpster that's like way in the back of the parking lot, and it's enclosed in one of those things, and that just feels like sort of trespass-ish to me. Another non-existent word there. It feels trespassy. And that's not really my bag, man. It's not my bag, man. To use the 1960s hippie parlance of the day. This is kind of a similar situation, but it's not so far back there that I feel super weird about it, although it doesn't look like there's an actual dumpster in there. These enclosures that you'll see around these dumpsters, well, there's no dumpster in there, but these type of enclosures are being built, they're supposed to actually be around every single dumpster in the city limits. It is a new ordinance, but I think they're being a little bit relaxed about it, as long as you don't have garbage everywhere. But it's designed to basically keep the dumpsters from being an eyesore, and also to keep garbage from blowing all over the place. We get pretty strong winds here, and that'll kind of contain the mess that happens sometimes when people leave the lids open. So I think there could be an argument to be made for like the legal aspects of having it enclosed like that. Maybe that makes it a little less in the public domain if you're actually building a structure around it. But as of today, I don't really let that stop me. Most of the dumpsters around here have something like that around them. Yeah, like that. That's that complex that I was at before. We're like on the other side of the road. We're on a different road here. This one's in between those two roads. There's some more dumpsters on this side of the road I can hit. But if I didn't go in those structures, I would not really be able to dumpster dive, because pretty much all of the dumpsters around here have those. Exceptions like this little guy here. I don't think the city is going to trip out on this too much unless like they're making a mess, especially since they're in an industrial area. But I think technically, like legally, this thing's supposed to be on one of those structures. There's a lot of automotive type places around here. That might be aluminum. The thing about this, using the money clip as a magnet, it's kind of hard to get out of my pocket with my gloves on. It's not aluminum. Looking promising. I haven't found a whole lot this video, but at least I got to film some areas that I haven't filmed before. This is kind of an add-on to my industrial park route. I don't always hit this road. And then there's a bunch of dumpsters on the way back to my place, and they're still in this industrial part that I can hit. That was about a 3-hour session. I think the camera got about the first hour of it for the most part. As far as sellable or usable items that I found, there was that wheel cover, scratched up, is still probably sellable. Probably make like $5 to $10 on that. That DirecTV set-top box, haven't looked that up, haven't tested it yet either, but I'm guessing somewhere between $10 to $20, something like that if it works. Found this flower vase that I'll just throw in with my garage sale stuff, a clay pot that'll either use or go in with my garage sale stuff. This pocket knife, which will go in my garage sale stuff or I'll keep for myself. Metal chain, gold colored chain. It's magnetic, so some kind of steel of some sort, tin metal, something. Found a dry erase marker in another dumpster to go with that dry erase board that I found, that whiteboard. The score of the day would have been this drop cam. This is for the Nest home security system. It's got the camera, the drop cam branded power supply, the USB cable and everything. Unfortunately, doesn't work. Spent an hour trying to get it going. Downloaded the Nest app on my phone and tried using the Nest app, the web app, and it was, both of them were able to connect to the camera and my network, and I was able to get the camera to respond to the app, but the indicator light wouldn't do anything. There's supposed to be like a green indicator light that turns on or flashes depending on what it's doing, and could not get an actual image from the camera on either app. So I think there's an issue with this thing. I think that's probably why it was on the trash. That's too bad, because this would have been like a $50, $60 profit on this item if it worked. But oh well. Nice thick USB wire to scrap there though. And found a whole bunch of bubble wrap that I can use. Probably easily 10 bucks worth of bubble wrap, which is nice. Can always use that. And pretty much nearly full tote of scrap, I'd say here. A lot of this is found off camera. This phone, those aluminum gutter or drain downspout pieces. So this is mostly wire and aluminum cans and aluminum chunks. It's got a fair bit of weight to it, so not bad for a 3-hour session. I'd say that's a fairly typical session for me in that area, so pretty happy with that. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I stopped and took a break at the Huck's. If any of you are from the Midwest, I'm sure you'll be familiar with the Huck's gas station convenience store concept. But went in there to get a Red Bull. I bought actually the smaller version of this. I think it's the 8 or 9 ounce sugar-free Red Bull. That's kind of my drink if I'm getting an energy drink or something. And went out and sat down on the picnic table to drink it and looked down on the ground, and I saw this 12 ounce sugar-free Red Bull on the ground right by the picnic table. So I grabbed that, and I guess I'll drink it later. Kind of cool. Forgot about that golf ball. I think I figured out who this is, maybe. I'm almost positive it says Jim Paul. And I looked up Jim Paul, and there's a guy by that name who wrote a book about being a trader on the Mercantile Exchange in Chicago. It's called How I Lost $1 Million, or What I Learned from Losing $1 Million, or something like that. And he died quite a while ago, I think in 2001. But I have a hunch that this is from like a motivational speaking event that maybe he did at Maui Gym. He was an avid golfer, and looks like he even built his own golf course in Texas. So might explain why he would be giving out signed golf balls. Apparently, like legend has it, this guy played like 45 holes of golf in one day. So I think that's who signed this, but I'm not really sure. I have listed this on eBay, so we'll see what happens. So that's it. Hope you guys liked the video. Please hit the thumbs up if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks a lot.